Hey there, gorgeous, and a very happy Frugal Friday to you. I hope that you have had a great week. It is such a pleasure to see you and to be here with you. Today I'm sharing some of my most favorite easy to apply makeup products. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to title this video, but that's the idea behind it. Affordable, easy to apply, don't take a lot of time, not a lot of effort. You get the gist. By the way, all the products I'm sharing with you in this video are based on my own experiences, my own opinions with them. If you have any easy to apply, affordable makeup products that you wish to recommend, please feel free to share them down in the description box. I always encourage that. First product I have to share with you are cream eyeshadows. I feel like these are the easiest to apply, especially for beginners when you're just learning how to apply eyeshadow, because it's almost like one and done and you don't have to worry about it. Some of my favorites are from Maybelline. They make a great line of Color Tattoo cream eyeshadows. That's what I'm using here to show you this up close. This is in the shade Bad to the Bronze. You can see I'm taking my finger, applying it lightly onto the lid, blending it upwards. And then to finish it off, I'm taking an eyeshadow that matches my skin tone and lightly going over the edges to blur the harsh lines. And before you do that, you do want to make sure that you're blending the edges a little bit out with your finger. You don't need a lot of pressure. You can use a brush here too if you really want to diffuse the edges more. Completely up to you, but really easy, quick, and simple way to apply eyeshadow. Revlon also makes a really excellent cream eyeshadow line. You can use cream blushes too in place of these cream products for eyeshadow. I have just found them to be so easy, so fast, and they're what I typically will reach for on days when I want something that is not going to take a lot of time. I also really love the e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadow palettes. The one that I've been using the most lately to get a very simplistic everyday look is this one in the shade I Like You a Latte, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial shortly on my weekend casual, like everyday kind of makeup. It's going to be a whole full face tutorial on what I typically wear on the weekends, which is another quick and easy application type deal kind of video. But yeah, that's going to be coming up soon, but this is still one of my all-time everyday favorites. And all of the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palettes are some of the easiest eyeshadows to apply in terms of consistency and formula, and they will not give you any hassle, and they're really inexpensive. What more could you want? When we're talking about brows, I feel like some of the easiest products to apply are tinted brow gels because they don't give you a lot of hassle. You're not having to learn how to fill in your brows or worry about applying too much, blending, etc. And so one of my favorites is from Flower. This is the Fiber Fix Brow Gel. What I like about this is that it does have tiny fibers in the formula, which do help to volumize the brows a little bit. The shade that I'm showing you here is light brown, by the way. And look at how effortless that is. It goes in, fills them in, nobody's the wiser. It didn't take a lot of time to do it. And what I like about this formula also is that you can apply it on the areas where you have no hairs and you just have bare skin. And it helps to fill in those areas too without looking too overdone. Another one of my favorites along those same lines is from Revlon's Color Stay line. Their Brow Fiber Filler. I think I use the shade Warm Brown, is another favorite of mine that does the same exact thing that I just showed you there with the Flower product. So easy products to use for the brows. Powders are also extremely easy and fast and really hard to mess up because they're kind of like eyeshadow. They don't take a lot of fuss. One of my all-time favorites would have to be the one from the Amuse line, and it looks like that's very simple. This is $1 on shopmissa.com. So if you go to shopmissa.com and you look for the Amuse brow powders, these are excellent quality, very easy to apply, and that's it. Mascara. Some of my favorite mascaras are from the Essence line, and that's one of the ones I'm showing you here in the up-close example. This is their Volume Stylist Curl and Hold Mascara. It has micro styling waxes, which do help to hold a curl in your lashes better than traditional mascara formulas that are not waterproof. I also really love e.l.f.'s Big Mood Mascara. That's another one that adds a lot of volume in the lashes. It doesn't make them fall flat, and it is really easy to apply. I don't tend to make a lot of mistakes with that one, thankfully, so it is one of my all-time favorites. And I want to mention false eyelashes also, for those who may have questions about them. In terms of finding the easiest ones to apply, there is a method to look for with false eyelashes, and I would highly recommend looking for ones that have an invisible band, a clear band, because generally those are the easiest to apply on the eyes, and I always recommend them, especially for beginners who are just starting out learning how to apply false eyelashes. They're a lot more flexible. Obviously, when you apply them, you can't see them on, and all the way around, it's a really great type of lash to start with. I have multiple styles within my lash line. I'll have them listed for you below in the description box that do have clear bands that are extremely easy to apply that I personally really love. Off the top of my head, the best mascara and authentic from my lash line are some of my favorites that meet those qualifications. Ardell, I believe, also has some clear banded lashes within their line. You can find them in most drugstores. And I want to say Eyelure has some pretty good ones too. So that would be what I would recommend in terms of false eyelashes. For under eyes, for your under eye area, I personally really love cream-based concealers. They have started to become my go-to method, not method, what am I going to call it? Medium of application, because they're so creamy and they blend in and they use the warmth of your finger to blend into the skin better. At the moment, my personal favorite is from Undone Beauty. This is their Conceal to Reveal palette. Shade that I'm using here is Porcelain Light, and you can see how easily this just melts right into the skin. You can't even detect anything. It covers everything beautifully. It's absolutely gorgeous, quick and easy to apply. Another one of my favorites of the moment is the Pixi by Petra Under Eye Color Corrector in the shade Brightening Peach. That's another one that has a very creamy formula to it and it melts right in. You can also go with more liquid-based concealers. I've not had any issues with those. As an example, the ColourPop Pretty Fresh is another one that will melt right into the skin, makes everything disappear, and the best part is you don't need much when you are using it. For face products, I personally really love Tinted face, I don't know, moisturizers? Is that what we're gonna call them? I guess you wanna call them like BB creams, but just tinted face creams, foundations, I don't know. These. I have a number of them that I really love, but in this example, I'm showing you the one from Wet n Wild. This is the Tinted Hydrator, Tinted Skin Veil. You don't need much of the product. It does a beautiful job of minimizing small imperfections in the skin, and it looks like skin after you have applied it. And that's what I love the most about these kinds of products, is that they're very hard to mess up because they look so much like skin that even if you apply too much, it's not as detectable as if you had applied a fuller coverage foundation. And I'm sure you've experienced that before, where if you apply too much of a full cover foundation, it can start to look cakey and you can see lines and it starts to pull things out. Whereas with these, they tend to not do that. They still look like skin and they're very forgiving, which is why I love them so much. Some of my other favorites would have to be the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil. I've heard they've discontinued this one. Wah. Pixi also makes one, H2O Skin Tint, that is really good. Maybelline's BB Fresh, it's another great one. So just things like this. They're seamless, they're effortless, and they're one and done. You don't have to spend a lot of time on them, and you don't necessarily need to use a tool to apply them either, which is what I really like about these. You can blend them in with your fingers, and they don't give you any issues. Now lately I've become a fan of cream blushes too. I'm on a cream kick. I just love how it looks on the skin, and I love how easy they are to apply. And I'm starting to get to a point where I'm just like, I want something fast and easy. I've got 3 kids under the age of 5 running around, and I need to be able to be like this. Okay, I'm done. Who's doing what? Also good for the car. How many times have I had to apply makeup in the car? If you've ever applied makeup in the car, then you know that you tend to choose your products more wisely when you know you're going to be applying it in the car. And cream products like this are very forgiving for those methods of application too. My favorite of the moment is from LA Girl. This is their Soft Matte Cream Blush. The shade that I'm using here is Rosebud. Now these are very pigmented, so you don't need much at all. You can see how much I've applied to my face there. It's a very small dot. And then I take a stippling brush and I use that to blend it into the skin, and it blends in effortlessly. It's really easy to correct too if I happen to apply too much. I simply take a little bit of a sponge with the leftover tinted moisturizer that I was using and blend that over the top, and it takes away any of the harsh edges or too much product that I applied. But these are great because they last all day. They look like skin. They're very natural. I mean, you can see I have one on my face right here, and it's just a soft flush of color that's not too much. I also really love e.l.f.'s putty blushes. Same great consistency. A little bit goes a long way with those. And Wet n Wild has these blush sticks. My favorite is in the shade Peach Bum. And these are really spectacular too. If you want a little bit of highlight mixed in with your cream blush, these do have that. And I think they are still available and very affordable. I love a loose translucent powder, but I don't necessarily like to wear it or have it go everywhere, and so I don't usually will reach for that when I'm looking for something quick and easy. What I do reach for are pressed powder compacts, and one of my favorites is from e.l.f., and this is their finishing powder in the shade Fair Light, and it's easy. It blurs the skin, creates a soft matte finish that doesn't interfere with how the makeup wears, and it looks great. And finally, for lips, I do not wear lip liner on an everyday basis. Nope, I don't have time. But what I do wear are tinted glosses more often than not. That is what you will see me wearing outside of filming. This just become my go-to lately, with the exception of a couple matte crayons that I've really been enjoying, but I digress. So the ones that I reach for have happened to be the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. The one that I'm showing you here is in the shade Ice. It's a very simplistic gloss that completes the look without making it look like too much. And then the other one that I'm always drawn to, that I know you've seen me wear way too often, is from NYX, and that is their Butter Gloss in the shade Fortune Cookie. I love the butter glosses because they have a little bit of tint in them with the gloss. It's a great way to pull the whole look together if you're not looking to wear a lipstick per se. And then another thing that I have been doing is using my cream blushes as lipstick, and this palette in particular is one of my favorites of the moment. This is from Undone Beauty. It's the Lip to Cheek palette. The shade that I'm using here is Flare. This is gorgeous on the cheeks, but it's also equally gorgeous on the lips. And that's what I'm wearing in today's video if you've been curious about what's on my lips. I have a very small amount applied, and it adds a nice wash of color. It's not overpowering. It lasts for a while on the lips, and it's really easy and fast to apply. Like I've said, what more could you want? And now it's your turn. If you have a product that has made your makeup routine so much easier, feel free to share your recommendations below as well. I would love to hear which ones you have found that have made things a lot faster for you. I hope that you have a beautifully blessed weekend ahead. My baby is graduating preschool today. As you're watching this today, he's graduating preschool. 5 years has just gone gone. I just cannot believe it. It's crazy to me. I'm floored. And then next weekend we're moving my mom down, which I'm so excited about. So please keep us in your prayers. We have had a lot of attacks from the enemy. Whew, the devil does not want her coming here, let me tell you. But you know what? No weapon. No weapon. No weapon! So thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch. Thank you so much for your prayers, for keeping us in your thoughts, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a great weekend ahead.